Back in this thing. What is today? This one. Oh, this is part 2 of yesterday's. Fuse the intuitive with the rational. B. The great chess master Bobby Fischer spoke of being able to think beyond the various moves of his pieces on the chessboard. After a while, he could see fields of force, quote unquote, that allowed him to anticipate the entire direction of the match. For the pianist Glenn Gould, he no longer had to focus on notes or parts of the music he was playing, but instead saw the entire architecture of the piece and could express it. Albert Einstein suddenly was able to realize not just the answer to a problem, but a whole new way of looking at the universe contained in a visual image he intuited. In all of these instances, these practitioners of various skills describe a sensation of seeing more. All of us have access to this higher form of intelligence, one that can allow us to see more of the world and anticipate trends and respond with speed and accuracy to any circumstance. In moving through these various steps with an intense energy, you must have faith that these intuitive powers will come to you over time. The ability to sense the overall dynamic in any situation, to foresee problems and solutions before anyone else, can bring you to the heights of power, daily law. If you keep to the path, these powers of mastery will come to you. You have to push through. You have to keep at it. Perseverance. Those are the words that came to my mind right now. Because it's going to get rough. And it's going to get difficult. And it's going to get hard. And all this applies to life, I guess, in general. The road to the top of a mountain isn't easy. You have to visualize all goals as being the very top of the Matterhorn. And getting there is not going to be easy. Shut up. Alright? Let's be able to visualize and intuit the goal that you're looking to achieve. Oh look, I'm onto a new spot. Let's just pick out a quote. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. The next chapter is called Lose Battles But Win the War. Grand Strategy. Everyone around you is a strategist angling for power, all trying to promote their own interests, often at the expense of yours. Your daily battles with them make you lose sight of the only thing that really matters: victory in the end, the achievement of greater goals and lasting power. Grand strategy is the art of looking beyond the battle and calculating ahead. It requires that you focus on the ultimate goal and plot to reach it. In grand strategy, you consider political ramifications and long-term consequences of what you do. Instead of reacting emotionally to people, you take control and make actions more dimensional, subtle, and effective. Let others get caught up in the twists and turns of battle, relishing the little victories. Grand strategy will bring you the ultimate reward, the last laugh. You must intuit and see the end, while at the beginning. Both kind of dovetail together. I like that. Yep. Well, another day. Another beautiful day. Let's see what it brings. My mind's a little blank. I'm still waking up, so who the heck knows what I'm going to talk about. But apparently it has seen things in a dimensional way that others do not. Have an intuitive touch for how you approach life or a project. Let's see here. Let's put this there. Put this back so I don't lose it. Alright, and let's hit the road. There are way too many people up, kind of like hanging around doing jack shit at this hour of the day for a Monday. People hanging out at the pool. And like, what's going on here? I mean, I know I have somewhere to be. People don't seem like they have anywhere to be. Yep. I would love to get myself into a home, like a house. This whole apartment building stuff is for the birds. Have to deal with other people. That's not for me. I love where I'm at. It feels like it's time for an upgrade. Yeah, I guess maybe it's a good thing that my mind sees things a little differently than other people. And I guess that little page I read out of my book kind of points to that or reinforces that, because I was at work yesterday with the dogs and I'm seeing all this stuff like there's doors to the outside areas where the dogs are at, and down towards the bottom of these big metal doors there's like this stainless steel plate, like a kick plate, I guess is what it's called, but one of them's all bent up and lifting like away from the door, and it's all mangled and there's sharp edges on it, and I'm like looking at it like, man, a dog can hurt themselves on this plate easily. And in my mind I'm looking at it like, I know nobody told the owner about this. I can just guarantee it. So I took pictures and I sent them to her. I said, I happened to notice this. This looks like a vet visit just waiting to happen. Just putting into her mind the image of a dog getting hurt, and knowing her, she's not going to want that to happen, because then you have owners to deal with and possible lawsuits because their dog got hurt. That would be damage to personal property, because as much as people want to elevate animals to the level of humans, in the end, they're just personal property, like your car. You know, if you park your car somewhere and it gets damaged, you have every right to sue. You know, especially if it's supposed to be like secure parking. You know, that you're within your rights to litigate, to be litigious. So I sent them to her. You know, has anybody told you about this? She's all, no, thank you for letting me know. I'm like, oh, jeez. And I know it didn't look like that last week. You know, it's always been kind of looking like it's getting worse, but yesterday when I went to work, it was like way out of hand. I'm like, what the heck? So I just started looking around at other things that could be improved. And there's like these water hoses that are on this, you know, automatic. You can wind them up. And there's some on the outside so you can clean the AstroTurf that's out there for the dogs. And there's also some from the inside that never get used. Mostly because the spray guns that are on those hoses are broken. And I'm looking at it like, this is here. We should at least be able to use it. So I took pictures of those too. I'm like, can we get these fixed? She's like, yeah, let's do that. Do you think it's just the guns or should I replace the whole hose? I was like, I was going to suggest the hose, but in my mind, knowing that she doesn't like to spend that much money, I was like, at least fix the guns so we can at least use the hoses are usable, because right now, as is, you can't use them. She's like, I'll just do the whole hose. I'm like, oh, perfect, good. It's all kinds of little things like that. Like, there's staff that works there full time, but it takes me, the guy that works there 1 day a week, to suggest these things to her. No one even says anything. I'm like, what are you guys doing all week while you're there? And this goes back to the job I'm going to now. We used to have a huge wall sticker that says, "We do it right." And they took it down. Whatever, I don't care. If you want to do it wrong, you do it wrong. But I took that to heart because I signed that. We all signed it. My signature was on that sticker. It said, "We do it right." So I try and embody that in everything that I do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right. Screw that. I had spent enough of my life, quote unquote, forgive me my language, half-assing things. I'm just not going to do that anymore. If you want to half-ass something, go ahead and you do it. You see how that turns out for you, but I'm not doing that for me. I've been thinking about this car that I have now. I always check the tread, just conscious of all the things that I may have to replace in time. And tires are an important part of a car. And there's lower grade tires you could throw on a car, but when I replace these, I'm going to get the best ones I can. I don't care. I'm going to do it right. Not into saving money. Cultivating the mindset that I have all the money I need for all the things that I want. I don't care anymore. This is just who I am now. The universe is going to conform. That's what I've done for myself mentally now. I've set the bar very high. Not into easy. I'm into tackling hard. That's why I stand up at work. I see a lot of people with pear-shaped bodies because all they do is sit at work. And okay, a lot of the functions at the job that I'm going to now require that you sit because you're going to be looking into a microscope. Fine. Those people have to sit. I don't. Very fortunate that this place, the little area I'm in, doesn't require me to sit. But I work with a guy that, I work with a partner, and he does. I see how he looks, and he's been there forever, doing this for God knows how long. But if that's what sitting makes you look like, I prefer to stand. I'll rest when I'm dead. I'm not trying to relax. There's times for relaxation. But if it's going to cause, your body to just decay into nothing, then I'm not into that. That's what my intuition tells me. Anyways, going back to that page. If I'm going to do something intuitively, this is what it's telling me to do. I was never like this before prior to my reset. I would have been sitting there doing nothing just like him if I could. But even now, if there's nothing to do, say the work slows up, I'll find things to do. We use these little wipes, these little clean room wipes. I don't even know what they're made of. They're not paper. They're I call them poly wipes. So maybe some sort of. It's not cotton either. It's something else. But anyways, it's like these little square wipes. People just take them out of the package, and we have these little bins we put them in. They just like shove them in there. But I'll go around and I'll take everybody's little bins and I'll fold everything, make everything look nice and neat. I'll replace everybody's alcohol bottles because we use 99% alcohol for a lot of things that we do there. I'll replace all that. I don't like just sitting there staring, or I'm not going to sit there on a computer just like reading things. You know, I got a podcast going in my ear anyway, so I'm entertained. What is with these people on the road and their shit ass driving? This guy's swerving in the lanes. Now he's putting on brakes for no reason. Alright, let me get past this guy. This is interesting. He's probably drunk. Trying to get home. Should have called an Uber. Think ahead. Just leave your car where you're at. But yeah, that's the kind of the stuff I do. Like I said, I was doing that with the dogs, and I'm looking at everything now. Like, what else can we fix around here? Or what else needs to be fixed that they're not even letting her know about? It just seems like everybody's the same kind of person, and no one's like, open your eyes and look around. You're at work, and you have to be here for 8 hours. You might as well make this place the best it could be. It's a reflection of you. It's not like the owner's there all day. You are. I'd be pissed as an owner. Come around and see the door the way I saw it. I was like, why didn't anybody tell me about this? I don't know. Whatever. Then going back to lose a battle, win a war. I thought that was an interesting title. The little excerpt I read didn't really address that, but I know where it's going with it. Sometimes you have to retreat. You have to know when to retreat in battle. You can't just push ahead out of just hard-headedness, just trying to win. There's got to be a moment where if you see that it's not exactly going your way, retreat. Give your team time to recoup and regroup, and then go get back at it. It's the way it's supposed to be. This, it seems like obvious, but I guess people are so hard-headed, they just want to just plow ahead. I think that's what my moment in the car was. My girlfriend knows what I'm talking about. I think that was just a moment of retreat. I had to retreat. Then when it was go time, I went for it 100%. That's how we ended up with the dogs every day. Enough retreat. Now it's time for action. I might have attained that a little bit of an attitude from my girlfriend. She's 100% go. I mean, she knows when to retreat too, but like when it's time for action and then it's time to go, I used to be the times like just put it off, just relax more. No, when it's time, it's time. That's the way she is. I think right now she's going through a moment of retreat, to be honest. Whether she knows it or not, something amazing is coming. And she's going to have that go time coming up pretty soon. I can feel it coming. Right now, she's having a personal moment of retreat, which is good. I think everybody needs, the peaks and valleys, that energy wave. It ebbs and flows. All that is, she's in an ebb. But her flow is coming. Let's get over. Yeah. Feels good to be on the move. Yeah, at work too over there with the dogs. Like that AstroTurf. Nobody rakes it. Everybody just, cause see, if what I see while I'm there once a week is any indication of what happens the other 6 days of the week, oh good God, I feel bad for the owner. And part of me wants to be like, wants to tell her, just all right, take me on full time again. But you have to make me like a manager. Because there's managers there, but they sit up front and like reception. They don't really do much. Like we had a situation where they call the process discovery. Whenever a new dog comes in for the first time, what we have to do is empty out the yard. We have an outside area, so we put all the dogs outside. And then we let the new dog into the inside area. We let them kind of check it out. There's all kinds of sensory input that they're going to be taking in terms of the smells of the dogs that were in there prior to them entering. And then one by one, we let dogs in to see how they take to each dog as they come in. We build the pack up. The hectic part about doing that is fights break out. A fight can break out. That does happen. I've been bit breaking up a fight because it's just, you're interested in introducing new dogs into an environment. And especially if these dogs have never been in a pack before, it could get a bit anxiety inducing. And an anxious dog is the best way to bring out a defensive behavior, even if it's a growl or a snarl or a snap. All that can end up in a fight. And I've been bit doing discovery. So they announced that a new dog is coming in. It's the first time ever at a daycare, first time ever in a pack. Dog seems a bit anxious. I wasn't in the yard at the time. And the guy that was, you just see him kind of take a deep breath, like, not roll his eyes, but like, oh, yeah, all right. And then the girl that was telling him, this is one of the little supervisors, quote unquote, that just sits up front all day and doesn't really do much of anything. I don't ever really even ever seen her in the yard. She's like, okay, it's part of the job. You got to do it. And in my head, I'm like, you know what? That's easy for you to say. You don't ever do it. You don't know what it's like, especially in the big dog side. And this was a big dog coming in. It's one thing to do it with little dogs. Little dog bites are nothing. Even if you do get bit, it's no big deal. Getting bit by a big dog is no fun. I've been bit a bunch of times, so I can attest to this. And I knew exactly what this guy was thinking in his head. It's just an experiment. You're basically experimenting, putting these dogs together. And let's see what happens. And this chick's just like, you gotta do it, part of the job. And I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of here. Sorry, didn't mean to cuss. But I hate people who are like so cavalier with their attitude when it comes to things that they don't experience on a daily basis. I didn't say anything, and I should have. My girlfriend said, Dad told me, well, did you say that? Because I told her what I was thinking. She's like, did you say it? I was like, no. She's like, you should have. And in the back of my head, I'm like, damn it, I should have. But I don't like to be the one to mouth off, as mouthy as I could be. But if that ever happens again, I'm going to say something, because it is a bunch of BS. That kind of attitude. And that's when I feel like I should tell the owner too. Another job I used to work at, and this is where the idea came from. Everybody at this dog job should be doing everything. Everybody should be trained to do the front of the house duties in terms of check-ins and all the stuff that the people up front do. And all the people up front should be required to do yard duty. And there should be an ever-rotating cycle of people going from the front to the back. And everybody's equipped to do everything. And as is, that's not how it goes. The owner has it with like certain people only doing the front of the house duties and only certain people doing yard duty. And I think that's that's out of balance. It should be addressed. But I don't know if she's up to doing that. Because it does, not that it's difficult, but it does take a certain amount of time to get the front of the house duties down. It shouldn't take more than a day, really, to be honest. And I know some of these chicks ain't up to going into the large yard. And to be honest, I wouldn't want some of these chicks in there, because if a fight breaks out, you're not going to be equipped to break that up. You're going to jump into the middle of a pack fight? No. You're going to freeze. I've seen it happen. So I guess that's why it can't really happen. But still, this little chick with it's part of the job. She should have to experience what we experience. Just so you know. I hate that little do as I say, not as I do attitude. I'm the type of person, if I'm telling you what to do, it's because I've done it. And I know it can be done. As a matter of fact, if I was to tell somebody to do something and they weren't comfortable doing it, I'll do it. All right, watch me do it. Just so you know, it can be done. Take notes. Because you're going to be doing this. You may be uncomfortable, but watch how I do it. See how it gets done. And get ready, because your time is coming. I lead by example. That's how I was taught to lead. And it's a bit infuriating to see these little inexperienced children get attitude with other staff members just because they have some sort of managerial title. You're not a manager and you're not a leader. You're a glorified receptionist, if anything. I get a little heated talking about this. It infuriates me. People with easy jobs just take advantage of the people who do the hard daily work. And I guess this is why I didn't want to say anything, because I could feel myself getting pissed off when I heard her say it. And when I get pissed off, the words don't come out too easy, and I don't want to put myself in a position where I get reprimanded because I told somebody off at work. That's I think the main reason why I just let it go. I can feel myself already getting pissed. I probably would have said a word that I shouldn't have said. But I took a deep breath and I let it go. I talked to the other employee later about it. So I guess that's kind of how I blew the steam off. I was like, just, you know what you're doing. Just let that dumb little broad. Just forget about her. But yeah, that was my Sunday. Trying to make things better and kickstart improvements wherever I go. Ooh, getting chilly out here. That's why I like this job I'm going to now. Supervisors there tend to have a lot of knowledge on the different operations when it comes to the production line. So that kind of issue that I have at this dog job doesn't come out over here. At least at the moment. Like my lead, she's pretty cool. She tends to know a lot of operations. And there's never really a moment where it's like people get like, I got this dog job, having to, like, you're never gonna get bit on the production line. there's not that kind of situation that doesn't translate to this job in any kind of way. So I'm fortunate that this is the kind of job I have. This job's easy. This job's relaxing. People stress out over dumb things because I guess there's, like, if anything, maybe there's a daily number that they require us to hit. But it's like you can't stress out about hitting it. You definitely don't want to rush to try to hit it because that's when mistakes get made. And this job, if you make a mistake on the production line, then all that manpower and money that it took to get to the device to your level, if you're the one that screws up, you're costing the company money. So it's better you take your time and do it right. That's why I liked that big wall post, that wall sticker that said, "We do it right." I was utterly disappointed when I came back after they brought me back after the pandemic and saw that was gone. And to be honest, it didn't really hit me how much it meant to me that was there and that we all signed it. Like, it was a big old kind of, group thing where we all got there, we all stood in line to sign that. It was like a big team building moment. It looked cool to see everybody's signatures on that wall. Got back and it was gone. I think I talked about this in another video. Because then the thought I had is because, they messed up firing people that didn't want to take that jab. And then it hit me like, oh man, okay, maybe somebody had a guilty conscience, like, we didn't do the right thing by firing people who weren't comfortable taking something into their body or being forced to do it, or firing people because they didn't want to do it. That wasn't right. So we can't make this statement anymore. That was kind of deep when I thought about that. Maybe that's why they took it down. But in terms of what we do, our job function, I should have kept it up for that reason. So what's the alternative? We cut corners? We don't do it right? We sometimes do it right. I don't know. I will continue to do it right. The rest of you guys can half-ass it. Not me. And boop. Right there. It's a beautiful day at work. And I have arrived. Okay. Well, I have made it to my destination. And Use your intuition, see what others don't. Don't do anything half-ass. And at every opportunity, do it right. Go to work.